So we got a little bit of a clip here from Greg Miller. Now, this particular clip is making the rounds on social media, and honestly, it's the white savior, right? It's like I actually posted a meme. This is Greg Miller right now. This is Greg Miller wanted to be raised up by all those little minorities. They want to be raised up. That's what it is. They want to raise up the minorities and make them feel amazing and blah blah blah, whatever. Just raise up Greg Miller. Well, Greg Miller decided to make a little bit of a shill video that it's not a little bit of a shill video. It's literally only a minute and 12 seconds. So we're going to break this down together and then we'll talk about it and then we'll move on to the next video. The next video, you might not need your cringe shoot for this one, but you're definitely going to need it for the next one. So please make sure you have it. If you don't have it yet, go get it because you're going to need it.
Very happy when Tosh said that they are a they. I liked seeing them lean into that. So many of the Kind of Funny audience are non-binary or trans.
Wait, what? So many of the what?
Of the Kind of Funny audience are non-binary or
the Kind of Funny audience. Is that the name of his podcast or something? Is that the name of his podcast, chat? I don't watch this fucking guy, so I have no idea. Is that the name of his podcast, Kind of Funny or something? Or is he just calling them Kind of Funny? People are saying yes. Okay, that makes sense. All right, just making sure.
Are non-binary.
Does he have stats for that, by the way? Does he have stats of his audience? Because last I checked, I can't check the stats of my like who my audience fucks. I can't check the stats of that. So does he have stats showcasing that a good majority of his audience is non-binary, trans, or whatever? Or is he just saying that because shill's got a shill?
Or trans. And over the years, as that for some reason has had to become an issue on the grand scale of things, I have been...
Well, it's the grand scale of things because you guys made it the grand scale of things. You guys put it out there. It's not like we told you to tell us who you fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we're running around and saying, hey, Mr., Mrs., them, ziz, non-binary person, who do you fuck? Like, we're not running around and asking you that. You're the ones telling us that, and then we're telling you, hey, that's annoying, we don't want to know that, and then you're calling us a bigot because we don't want to know that.
So blessed to know you, non-binary best friends, to know you, trans best friends.
You better feel blessed to know them because they're not going to be around that much longer.
Same way, you know, I can think back to the first people I ever met in the LGBTQ community, right, and how impactful that was on me.
Are they still around?
Have these conversations and have people help guide me in terms of how to help, what to do, how to be an ally. And so I feel like
how to be an ally, bro, that shit is so fucking dumb. When people start talking like that, it's unbelievably cringe. I need to learn how to be an ally. What? Bro, you're not an ally to anybody because at the end of the day, you're not actually helping these people in any meaningful way. This is why when I talk on Twitter and I make fun of these losers is because at the end of the day, they're just virtue signalers. They don't do anything to actually help these people. Nothing. And then they get mad at me when I make fun of the situation. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm making fun of it, but I'm also bringing light to it because you guys try to suppress the bad parts of this community. And I just make fun of it and bring light to the bad parts, which is, hey, there is an extremely high suicide rate in this community. Perhaps we should be talking about this and what we could do to help this. But, you know, you guys just don't like jokes. That's just really what it is because you have a stick up your ass or something up your ass. Maybe not a stick.
It's so depressing right now to see people struggle and not understand what's happening and demonize you. I hope that fiction like this on a mainstream AAA platform helps. I hope that, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure he thinks it helps. I'm sure he's hoping it helps. I'm sure he's hoping that it helps, you know, putting this overly preachy message in a AAA game. I'm sure he's hoping it helps. It's going to help all those people who never felt seen before feel seen. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to help. It's not going to help, by the way. It's not going to help. People like this don't realize that it just makes it worse. It makes it worse. When you're overly preachy and you're so on the nose and you're just trying to shove your ideology down people's throats and the way that you think and the way that you are, you're only going to turn more people off than you would have ever have if you would have just been yourself from the beginning, right? Instead of running around and telling everybody who you fuck, or running around and telling everybody your sexuality or your bullshit identity, why don't you just be who you are? Just be who you are and be a normal fucking person and just exist, right? They try to say, oh, we're just existing. You're not. You're preaching. If you were just existing, you would be like everybody else who's literally just existing. But instead, you want to be bowed down to. You want everybody to kneel before you as if you are some like weird fucking non-binary god, which again, being non-binary is hilarious because you're either binary or non-binary, which puts you in a binary anyway. So what are we honestly doing here?
Movies and literature and everything else is able to give a window in to what this is.
Do you even know what this is? Do any of you even know what this is? Because half of the time you're still trying to figure yourselves out. Or at least that's what you say. Because we know what it is, but you don't want us to say it. Right? You say we're bigoted for calling it what it is, which is, you know, not being mentally all there. So do you even know what it is? This is let me let him finish and then I'll finish up.
Shockingly, this isn't a big fucking deal to support someone I love when they want to go do something that has no effect on me but makes them feel better.
Okay, so this whole argument about it doesn't affect me is an absolute crock of shit. All right, because we've seen that play out in real time. People have tried to say, oh, what's the big deal? It doesn't affect you. Well, it's a big deal, number one, because it's a big deal for you. You're making it a big deal, which then in turn makes it a big deal for me because you won't shut the fuck up. You won't constantly stop preaching about it. So it makes it a big deal for me. And number two, the whole thing about, oh, it doesn't affect me, so it's not a big deal. That's an absolute nonsense. So I want you to take that and apply that logically to other stuff that happens in the world. So the genocide that happens in the world right now across everywhere, there's so many countries right now where people are just being killed on a mass scale for a multitude of reasons, right? And you could ideologically agree with it or not agree with it, but I'm saying if people are getting killed out in the world, do you then just agree with murder because it doesn't affect you? It doesn't affect you, right? It's not a big deal. It's not personally affecting you, so it doesn't matter. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? This whole ideology is going to seep into someone's life, whether it affects them in the beginning or not. And this is the problem. When you try to make it seem as if it's not going to affect people when it absolutely does and will, this is how we got Veilguard. You guys realize that, right? This is how we got Veilguard in the first place. By people 10 years ago trying to convince everybody else, what's the big deal? It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. And then little by little, they kept pushing the envelope more and more and more and more until eventually, guess what? Now it is affecting you. Now it is affecting you on a daily basis. Now it is. This is how we got here with that weak ass mindset. That's a weak person's mindset. Saying, oh, it doesn't affect me, so it doesn't matter. Shut the fuck up. People who have an ideology or an agenda are going to constantly push that agenda any little chance they get. And if you don't give them pushback, then they're just going to do it without pushback. That's it. Because whether you push them back or not, they're going to do it anyway. But if you keep pushing them back, then they have to re-strategize. They have to refigure out what they're going to do. And it doesn't make it as easy for them to do it. And if anything, it makes it hard for them to do it because then you wake up other people to what's happening. And that's kind of like what Dragon Age the Veilguard's doing. I'm telling you right now, Dragon Age the Veilguard is going to wake up more people than my channel ever could. And I've said this so many times, bro. I even think Asmongold said the same thing. That Veilguard is going to wake up more people than I ever could. Veilguard is going to be the reason why people find my channel or channels like mine. That's what happens. When you're overly preachy, when you do too much, when you don't know when to stop, it's going to force people to a particular side of the aisle. Or it's going to force people to at least start paying attention when they probably weren't paying attention in the beginning. And that's what's happening here. You know how many people have found my channel today because of the whole Eddie situation? You know how many people found my channel because I posted my links on Eddie's page before, Eduarda ended up fucking blocking me because they didn't like that I was posting my channel everywhere and getting more likes and comments than they were getting. Like, that's not my fault. You Streisand me. So it's the same thing here. So Veilguard is going to do the same thing. Veilguard is going to absolutely wake people up. It's already happening. I have people commenting on my videos saying, hey, I bought this game. I was a normie. And after buying this game, I had to refund it almost immediately. At first, I thought something weird was happening. They didn't realize it was in the entire game, damn near. It's like, no, this shit is waking people up. It really is.